your course in Chicago in August. So I felt the call to reach out and have a connection with your guys' stuff, and I really love it. And I love the concept. We do a bit of, in our practice, we do a bit of like takahi o tinana, so walking the body as well. So I was like, oh, I just want to learn what you've developed and have a conversation about that. So yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you. We look forward to having you in our class whenever that will be. I am Jiva. My name is Jiva, or Jivatma, but I go a lot by Jiva. It's an Indian name. I was born and raised in India, but I'm Spanish and French. My mom is Spanish, my dad is French. And I grew up in Oroville, which I think is a cool thing to know about me. It's like an international eco-village spiritual community in Southeast India, in the state of Tamil Nadu. And it's very unique. It's a very unique environment, very diverse, people from all over the world, all kinds of cultures and cultural backgrounds and spiritual backgrounds. There's about 3,000 people living there from all over. So I was born and raised there, and then I have since, for the past, been about 15 years since the first time that I came to Hawaii. So I've been living in Hawaii for most of the year and going back to India for 3 to 4 months out of the year usually. Yeah. So my whole family is in India. My parents are there, and my sister, and all my, growing up, all my friends and everything. So, and I've been doing massage for about 15 years as well now. And it's been my path from day one. I thought I was going to go to university and do all these other things. And then I found massage, or massage found me, however you want to think of it. And that was it. I really went into that, and it became my life. Yeah, I think for me, it's really, I've always known that I'm on a path of self-discovery through the human body and through helping others or inspiring others in developing that relationship with the body. How much this world needs healthy touch and a healthy relationship to touch. And I think that touch is important in a way that we don't even begin to understand how important touch is for humans to be happy and to be grounded and whole, and not get enough touch, not get enough of the right touch, of the healthy touch, is closely interwoven with what we do as massage therapists and what we can try to provide to people. After being in a manual therapy practice for a few years, I started to use my feet, to massage, which has been really my passion. And from there, kind of everything developed from there with what I do now, which is Sarga Bodywork, which is the method that I've developed with my partner Daniel. Daniel is a rolfer. He does structural integration.
Oh, cool.
So there's a lot of influences of structural integration in Sarga. So I guess Sarga Bodywork is in a nutshell, it's a barefoot massage method that employs the use of a Sarga strap. We call it a Sarga strap, but of a piece of fabric, so that uses tensional support and is myofascially based. So that was that was a first. That was something that hadn't been done before we came along, was the use of tension, of a tension piece of fabric. So I when I got out of massage school in 2007, I started doing pretty much a full-time private practice, and I always had a love for deep work. So I started doing a lot of deep tissue, deeper work. And pretty soon, being a smaller person and pretty small frame, I pretty soon started to feel the effects of that. I was living in Hawaii at the time and working on a lot of big people, big surfers. So I started to think about different ways in which I could work more smarter, I guess. And that's how I first started to use my feet. So I remember the day really clearly. It was an evening, and I was doing house calls at the time. Out calls, I would go to people's homes, and there was this family that I used to massage the mother, the father, and the 3 children. And the children were like 5 to like 8 or something. And it was at the end of the evening, and the dad was the last one. He was this big guy, and I was really tired. And he was on the table, and he loved deep pressure. Like, he wanted it as deep as I could go and more. I felt like I could never go deep enough. Something was like, just get on the table. I had done Thai, but I had done Thai massage, so I had a notion of using my body weight, but I had never really used my feet per se. So I got on the table, and there was this overhang, and there were bars, and I started to hold on to the bars. And his name was Chris. He was blown away. And he was like, I just want that. Like, every time you have to walk on me, you have to use your feet. So that was the beginning. And from there, I started to experiment with using my feet a lot. And I really felt right away like, oh, there is a whole world here for me, and I really want to explore it, and I really want to see what's there. So I went back to India, and I did a little bit of Chavoti Tirumal, which is the Keralite massage from Kerala, the Indian Ayurvedic style, with a rope overhead on a straw mat right on the floor, Indian style. It's very oily, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. Like, I always preferred the drier work with just a little bit of oil and deeper myofascial work. So I came back to the US after that, and I found Ashiatsu, which is the technique with the feet with bars overhead that was being kind of made popular in the US by this woman, Ruthie Hardy. That is how I actually met Daniel Tsykayama, who is my partner. And we didn't meet at the class I did, but we met. He had done the class just before me, and I did the class after, and our teacher kind of connected us. And him and I, my Ashi teacher at the time, my Ashiatsu teacher, was like, oh, you should trade with this guy because he's really good. And months later, I needed a body work, and I was like, oh, I'll try out that guy. And I contacted him, and we traded, and right away was like, whoa, like, we're doing such similar work, and I felt so inspired. That was the beginning of our collaboration and the beginning of Sarga as well. So pretty much right away when we met, we started to have all these ideas of where we wanted to kind of see bodywork evolve to and grow to. We wanted to make bodywork more free, so less restricted to like overhead support. So rather than, having overhead bars or an overhead rope where you have to drill into the ceiling or drill into the walls, we wanted to make it mobile and portable. And another big part of the inspiration was also to make it more myofascially based. So Ashiatsu gets deep, but it also uses a fair amount of lubrication as well. So we wanted something a little bit more dry, a little bit more myofascially based. That's when it started, and we experimented with all kinds of things, all kinds, walkers and canes and ropes and yoga belts and different permutations. We started on the ground with a floor table with all kinds of different designs, and then we decided that we wanted to keep the raised table configuration so that therapists could still keep the use of their hands, so that they could, get on the table, use their feet, get off the table and use their hands. So that's how we started developing the equipment of Sarga Bodywork, how it is today. It took many different tries, and everything was a learning curve for us. So, we had never done this. This was a startup business. We had never, we had to file for patents, and we have a patent pending, design patent for the equipment. And we wanted to do it right from the beginning. Like, we really wanted to, not just mess around and see what happened. We really had a vision to create something that was going to be able to evolve and develop into something valuable. So yeah, courage, like a level of trust and courage that when you take on a project and you start something, you never know how it's going to go, and it takes courage to just jump and go for it. None of this would have happened without the incredible partnership and kind of balanced balanced gifts that we both bring with Daniel. Like, I think that it really took the two of us coming together, it's an immense gift that I was given the opportunity to create all this. And Daniel and I have a lot of fun, have had a lot of fun. I mean, we've had a lot of hard times as well and sleepless nights, but mostly a lot of fun also together. So it's really
I feel like as body workers, it's almost like we are destined to do all these studies of different things and pull them together in a way to like evolve the practice. Do you have that sense as well?
Yeah, I think we all contribute to the pool of bodywork and massage, and I would like barefoot work to be in every massage school, because I didn't know about it when I came out of school, like, you know, and a lot of people don't know about it, and we kind of like stumble upon it, maybe if we're lucky. You know how when you go to, at least here in the US, when you go to a massage school, they kind of give you a little taste of a lot of different techniques.
Yeah, here as well in Australia. Yeah,
I think that's really important. I think that barefoot work should be in there as well, because it's an incredible tool that very few people find as massage therapists.
Yeah, and when I'm just thinking in terms of our practice, like when we use feet, it can be a lot deeper, and we use any part of our body, so it can be knees or feet or hands, whatever's needed for the specific point. I'm asking about when you're walking that edge, and it can be, well, I find at least in our practice, like sometimes, yes, you're always listening to the client, but there's also that level of holding the space as the therapist, right? You know, and
yeah, I think with Sarga, we're trying to always talk about kind of like staying on that line between engage, like having a deep engagement, but still staying in the parasympathetic nervous system. So we're still trying to give a session that is relaxing for the parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
So you always kind of want to play with that edge, and that edge is different for everybody, and it's different for every moment as well. Like some person can, you know, the same person can have different moments in which more or less pressure is okay of engagement. Like it's not going to be like a passive, like really like fluffy and soft massage. It does have that depth, and it depends also where the client wants to take it, because if they want to take it to that place where it's like really deep and therapeutic, then that's also up to, it's a choice that the client and the therapist makes, but it does have that edge of intensity. It's that idea of the word tensegrity, which is the integrity of tension, and it's that relationship between push and pull. So the tension of the strap and the pushing of the foot, the working foot. So we use a lot of that with our wraps. We kind of like lean into the wraps and use that tension for extra force, and also for support and stability. An experience that you need to have of the tissue, that I think, and not just the tissue, the energetic. Also, I feel that a lot of times it's not that you're going too deep, it's that you're going too fast too. So we work extremely slow with Sarga, and I think that you can go incredibly deep when you're going very slow, like very, very, very slow. The main thing that I look for is a sensation in the recipient's, in the client's tissue. Like it's like a feeling of like either being received or being like kicked off the tissue, and they don't even have to move or really say anything for this, but it's a very subtle thing. But it's like the tissue is inviting you in, or it's like kind of like pushing you out. That is a developed sense, and some people may have it easier than others, or may have it right away, and some people may take a while to develop. But I think that you also get used to, I mean, practically speaking, you get used to different body types. You know, some body types can take a certain amount of pressure and others not. But I think that's something that comes, that either you have it naturally, like somehow you have a feel for it, or you develop over time.
Well, that's a really beautiful expression. I totally get it. Yeah, in a way. It's so cool.
Oh, that is huge. I mean, that's really for me been like the biggest gift of Sarga. Like, I hope that Sarga has been a gift for others in the world, but I would say Sarga for sure at that level has really pushed me to go past my comfort zone with public speaking, with being on camera, with all that stuff, which was really scary for me. And for me personally, I feel that it has made me grow in ways that I never thought I would ever tackle those battles. It was a huge journey was to develop my teaching persona. It had started before Sarga. Luckily, thank God, I had a little bit of experience teaching massage, and I mean a million of other things. I mean, I always had a hard time in school with anything that was too like mental, whether it was math or I was definitely more of the physical and kinesthetic learner. It has hugely impacted the way in which I work with my clients, with my private clients. So my actual manual therapy techniques and approach have completely changed from developing Sarga. So I pretty much don't do anything else other than using my feet with Sarga now.
How we can use that energy differently in this time, not being able to do body work. I've been thinking a lot about this as well, because when I was thinking about it, I was like, for the last 6 years, I don't think there's been a week I haven't done a session. A weird feeling to not have that energy exchange and expenditure in that way. Can you speak to that a little bit, maybe for body workers out there who are also feeling those feelings?
So for me, it's perhaps a little bit less strong right now than for somebody that has a full-time practice. I would say that as massage therapists, we can, I guess that's true for anything that you do in the world, but we can kind of like start to define ourselves through our work and find a sense of grounding and worthiness and a feeling of being of service and being valuable and being useful in the world through our work. It's really interesting, although those are beautiful things, and it's beautiful that we have this way of being a positive energy in the world. It is also really interesting through this situation with the coronavirus and asking us to not do anything. It's interesting to reevaluate some of those things and kind of take a moment to be like, who am I without my work, and who am I without giving sessions? Who am I without teaching even, and you know, whatever it is that we may be doing. It's a very powerful place to be, to kind of re-examine who we are and how we feel in the world. Without that, we each have to be creative. A lot of people are in very different situations worldwide, you know, so I think that the way in which you can be of service can be so different right now, depending on where you are and your situation. I think that the overall kind of arcing arch of the theme of this time planetarily is it's really being okay with being with yourself.
Yeah. No, thank you. That's so beautiful.
That is always going to be a part of my life, whether I do other things, which I probably will, but massage will always be a part of my life, and I've always felt in alignment with that path. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've questioned every aspect of my life, but it's interesting how I have never questioned that. I've never questioned the thought. Whatever you do, it's important to do it with passion. And it's interesting because I feel that I just recently went through something that has made me look at that again. But I think that like the work we do in the world is something that is like a continuous choice. It's not like you choose it once and you're done. It's like you choose it every day, and you choose it in every moment. And every time you come to that choice, you choose it in a different way and with a different level of commitment. And and I'm really happy to be having this conversation, because this reminds me of that passion and of that inspiration that I carry with me. And even though, like I was saying, I never lose track of that. Like it's always with me, but it's kind of like you go through times of like, oh, like there it is. And so I would just end by saying that it's whatever it is you choose to do in this world, just do it with passion and do it with your heart. Sarga Bodywork website, which is just www.sargabodywork.com. Of our teaching schedule on there and all the information you can read more on Sarga and everything else. And then we have a Facebook, Sarga Bodywork on Facebook, and we have an Instagram as well. I'll just start by saying thank you for having me, and also for everybody listening. I actually went to Australia for the first time this year on my way to India. I went to Sydney, and I had a really good time in Australia, and I would love to bring Sarga Bodywork to Australia and also just experience Australia more. So let's close with a prayer. Maybe I'll do a short Indian mantra. Take a minute and close our eyes, and I just want to make this prayer for everybody listening, and also for anybody that is suffering on the planet right now, whether it's with the present situation of the coronavirus, physically suffering with a disease, or financially suffering, emotionally suffering, mentally. May there be peace, abundance, health, and lots of light in everyone's heart. Shanti, shanti, shanti.
Thank you so much.